welcome to the Indianapolis Kiwanis Club, the greatest Kiwanis club in all the land, or so we're told. I am so thrilled to see so many faces of Kiwanians, past presidents, longtime friends, new friends. So thank you all for taking time out of a very busy day, very busy week to join us today. I'd like to invite Laura Holloway up to give today's invocation and to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. If you don't mind standing while she comes up.
Hello everyone. I get to share the invocation with you today, which is actually the Key Club International Ideals. So here are the ideals. To give primacy to the human and spiritual rather than the material values of life. To encourage the daily living of the golden rule in all relationships. To promote the adoption and application of higher standards in scholarship, sportsmanship, and social contacts. To develop by precept and example a more intelligent, aggressive, and serviceable citizenship. To provide a practical means to form enduring friendships. To render unselfish service and to build better. To build better communities. To cooperate in creating and maintaining the sound public opinion and high idealism which makes possible the increase of righteousness, justice, patriotism, and goodwill. So I would like to do the pledge with you guys as well. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Thanks, Laura.
We do have quite a few guests with us today. If I can ask quickly for, just from your seats, Pat McCrory, then Graham, and then Eric to introduce the guests that are with you. I saw Pat somewhere.
Pat McCrory here, president from 2012. My husband, Mike McCrory, also a Kiwanian. My daughter, Catherine McCrory, who was a Kiwanian down at University of Indianapolis for 6 months. Sharon and Don Kennedy, good friends. And someplace in here is Greg Silver, I know. There you are. And I talked to Don Steele this morning, and him into coming. So there you go.
Thank you. You've done your part.
Thank you, Trina. I've got a whole table of guests here. Nancy Lawton, who is one of my favorite people. She is a great Butler donor, season ticket holder for us. So Nancy is here. I've got this young man, Mr. Bill Dugan, has been an amazing friend of mine. And I was embarrassed, but he named our business school building a couple years ago. Class of 1951. And just an unbelievable guy. I've got Barbara Mata here. She has been unbelievable in helping me with everything that I do. Her husband Thad is our head basketball coach at Butler. Patty Lamb was my administrative assistant and then got to know me. She moved out, but I still love her. Allie Kenny is my current admin. Give her a couple more months. She'll be out. Michael Lofton, one of my great colleagues of all time. He manages government relations and community affairs at Butler. And then because I wanted at least one person to applaud when I get up here, my mom is here. She drove all the way up from Louisville, so thank you.
Eric?
All right, well, I brought the two Sallys in my life to the club today. So my mom, Sally Rowland, we had this debate about big Sally, little Sally, old Sally, young Sally. It never really works out very well. So this is my mom, Sally, with an IE, and my wife, Sally, with a Y. And so they're both hopefully going to applaud for me.
Thank you. We're so grateful to have all of you. Thank you to the 45 members who have already sent in their dues commitment for this coming year. Please try to submit your renewal as quickly as possible. We're turning the current roster in end of next week to KI, so we want to make sure your names are on it. Special thanks to those members who are celebrating Kiwanis anniversaries this week. Bob Spinol, thank you. 42 years. Past President David Cease, 35 years. Fred Shirley at 24. Charlie Eldridge, oh my goodness, me and my names today. 11 years. Abe Lincoln Scholar Nathan Ashworth and Annie Eubank, both at 7 years. And Kara Lathrop at 5 years. 76 years ago today, the first Circle K Club was chartered at Carthage College in Illinois, 1947. I'd like to recognize Tom Eubank, who served as Circle K International's president in 1965 while at Indiana University, and Scott Bearby, who served in 1988 while at Notre Dame. I'd also like to wish a happy birthday to past president and 2020 Career Award recipient Karen Burns, as she's putting together the finishing touches ahead of Saturday's Indianapolis Prize Gala. You can catch the live stream of that event on their Facebook page or watch their 1 hour special next Friday night. Also a happy birthday to Jay Brill, who will be celebrating on Saturday. We're circulating a card. Did you say 22? We're circulating a card for past President Rush Yelverson, whose wife Annie had surgery this week. Please keep them in your thoughts. Be sure to alert any local nonprofits for our Kiwanis Foundation grants. We're awarding 10 $5,000 grants. The applications are due next Friday, the 6th. The grant application is a simple Google form that can be found on indykiwanis.org/grants. So far, we've received submissions from 15 organizations and more are on the way. Since 2015, we've provided more than $210,000 to 53 organizations in central Indiana to help their program ideas be tested, launched, and expanded. Reach out to the Kiwanis office if you're interested in selecting grant recipients. We'll be doing so the week of October 23rd. These are truly incredible to read and really hard to decide on. Please mark your calendars for the upcoming Zoom programs. October 19th, author Diane Enriquez will join us again to talk about her book, Taming the Street. December 14th, Dr. Stacy Gallen will talk about Athletes Against Anti-Semitism and Discrimination Consortium. That will be another fascinating program. January 11th, Coach Bob McKillop and the 2024 NIT tournament at Hinkle will be profiled. And then tentatively, keep your fingers crossed for this one, please. Charlie Baker, the current NCAA president and former Massachusetts governor, will be joining us by Zoom. Incredibly fortunate to have all of these speakers joining us. Mary, I'd like to invite you up for a couple more items.
Okay, some more news. So, I know Bill Murphy would agree with me that there's nothing more rewarding than volunteering for the Salvation Army, as he and his family has done for the past 37 years, and hope to help bring coats to over 4,000 kids this year. Coats can be dropped off at Classic Cleaners, or if you'd like to donate money, every $25 donated, we'll be able to purchase a coat for a child. And then on the week of Thursday the 12th, we're not having a club meeting. So instead of that, if you'd like to volunteer, especially on Saturday the 14th, out at the fairgrounds in the Blue Ribbon Pavilion to help distribute the coats, they need all the volunteers the Salvation Army can get. So please put that in your calendars. Abe Lincoln is coming up sooner than we think, isn't it? So December 1st, we need the nominations will be due from the schools. January 13th will be the interviews, and mark your calendars for Friday, February 9th at Primo's will be the presentation of the awards. And again, Rafael Sanchez will be interviewing the winners. Since 1976, 862 students have been recognized by the Abe Lincoln Scholarship Awards. 1.23 million in scholarships have been awarded. And since 2015, $42,850 have been presented to the 197 Circle of Valor honorees. So we're building our list of Kiwanis ambassadors to reach out to the Marion County High School principals and school counselors to invite them to participate in our youth recognition and scholarship programs. So you may not be on the Abe Lincoln committee, but if you want to volunteer to make a few phone calls, we certainly would appreciate it, because there's lots of high schools in Indiana and they all need to be contacted. Chuck, is Chuck here?
Yeah.
Do you need notes? There you are.
Thank you. Our next youth recognition event is Thursday, December 7th at the Colts Gridiron Hall. And we'll be presenting the $5,000 in scholarships and honoring players and coaches at the Marion County High School Football Awards Banquet. This is the 67th or 68th, I think, annual event. So it's been going on for quite a few years. And thanks to Rob Schlegel, who's here. Hey, Rob, good to see you. Bill Du Bois and Roger Cummings. Bill and Roger. Is Roger here? Oh, shoot, I'm hoping to have a committee meeting.
Make
but
decisions without him.
we can do that. We've done that before. In selecting these outstanding scholars, we'll be meeting to do that selection. Reach out to me if you'd like to assist. We will have more information about team sponsors soon. So December 7th, and if you've never been to the Gridiron Hall at the Colts Complex, it's a great venue, and we always have a great time, and the food is always excellent. So plan on attending. Thank you.
Thank you. So today's program is largely about celebrating some extraordinary Kiwanians. I would like to kick off that portion of the program by saying how lucky we are to have Laura Holloway become involved with Key Club at Perry Meridian High School in 2017, where she was a Spanish teacher. She met Lou Drexler, our club's liaison to that school, and must have been bit by the Kiwanis bug. In 2020, she joined the Kiwanis International staff as Key Club program specialist, building experiential learning, leadership, and service learning programs for teenage members and adult volunteers in 38 countries. In just 3 years as a member of the Kiwanis Club of Indianapolis, her contributions have truly been unmatched. And that's saying a lot looking at this room. In addition to her perfect attendance and service on the club's board of directors, she continues to be an advisor for the Perry Meridian High School Key Clubbers, modeling servant leadership as she brings them to Colts games, Kroger bell ringing for the Salvation Army, food bank volunteering, Coats for Kids sorting, and so much more. She helped to onboard the new Shortridge Key Club this past year and is collaborating on a model for best practices across all of our service learning programs. We leaned on her a few years ago to introduce Abe Lincoln candidates, then serve as a host and a translator. This year, she not only offered to participate in interview day, but also serves as a Kiwanis ambassador to multiple high schools throughout Indianapolis, reaching out to principals, school counselors, athletic directors to share the good work their club is doing. She has also served on the grant selection committee. She brings focus, fresh ideas, and optimism to our club. I'm so privileged to call her a Kiwanian and a friend. Please join me in congratulating our 38th Kiwanian of the Year, Laura Holloway.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
You want to say anything?
Well, sure, I can try.
You don't have to.
A little emotional, a little choked up. Thank you so much. It really means a lot to me. I know who I'm in the room with, who I'm a member. I know my club mates. So you guys have really inspired me, always made me feel welcome. As a faculty advisor, when I would bring some students for lunch as an outsider, I felt welcome then, and I felt honored to be a faculty advisor, and now that I get to be a Kiwanis advisor, it's just wonderful, best of both worlds. So thank you so much. Thank you for this award. This means a lot. Thank you very much.
Our first Kiwanian of the Year was awarded in 1985 to Lawrence East. Jerry East worked at Sutton Gardner, a welding equipment distributor that had been serving Indianapolis for over 100 years. He was then a 50-year club member and celebrated his 40th year of perfect attendance in 1994. He left a generous estate gift to the Kiwanis Foundation of Indianapolis. The Lawrence E. and Maisel D. East scholarships have been awarded annually since 1997 to students at Butler University and the University of Indianapolis who demonstrate academic excellence, leadership, citizenship, and financial need. This endowment supports all of our scholarships other than the Abe Lincoln Award itself. I'd like to recognize former Kiwanian of the Year recipients who are at lunch today. Ton Dunham, 1992, Rob Schlegel, 2002, Jay Brill, our birthday boy, 2004, Mary Bulk, our incoming president, 2007, Trent Cowles, 2006, Steve Farrow in 2011, and Greg Silver in 2022. Our club couldn't make the same impact in our community without each of your efforts. Now I would like to welcome Steve Farrow to the podium to introduce this year's Civic Award winner.
Thanks, Trina.
I apologize for the height difference.
As I thought about our honoree and one word that might describe him, I thought of ambassador. So I looked it up in the Merriam-Webster dictionary, which says, an ambassador is a diplomatic agent of highest rank accredited to a foreign government or sovereign as the resident representative of his or her own government or sovereign, or appointed for a special and often temporary diplomatic assignment. Well, he doesn't really represent a government. So what about envoy? A minister plenipotentiary accredited to a foreign government who ranks between an ambassador and a minister. Still not quite what I was looking for. The definition that I wanted was a dignitary for champion causes. Even though he's not a high-ranking diplomat representing governments, Graham Honecker seems like an ambassador because he dignifies the causes that he cares about. His personal passion for causes, his attention to research and detail about his subjects, and his execution of plans to bring people and groups together, even when they're not high-ranking people and organizations, make me think of him as an ambassador for all causes and people that he cares about. I think he's certainly an ambassador for Kiwanis' values when he is meeting with people from all walks of life. For a Kiwanis club that's 107 years old, the Kiwanis Club of Indianapolis' Civic Award dates back to 1961, over 60 years, and it's been awarded to men and women who have spent decades building a legacy of service in our community. That list includes many titans of business and industry, but also university presidents, generals, legendary litigators, former secret agents, high-ranking government officials, and some who are lesser known, like the founder of the Abe Lincoln Awards, and of course, several community leaders currently in this room. Our club director and secretary, Kelly, provided this synopsis of our first Civic Award recipient, J. Russell Townsend Sr., who is a significant figure in the early days of football at Coe College as an end and halfback on the 1905 and 1906 teams. After coaching in Iowa and Wyoming high schools, he became Wabash College's athletic director. He built a career in insurance, started his own company. He was a Big Ten official for 25 years. He organized junior baseball in Indianapolis, was a founder of Camp Kiwanis, a Boy Scout camp, president of the Zoological Society in 1955, founder of the Life Insurance Institute at Purdue, organizer of the Indiana Officials Association, and was president of this club. The Kiwanis Civic Award is presented to a member who has demonstrated standing as a Kiwanian through committee work, attendance at meetings, and cooperation in club activities, participation above and beyond the usual service projects, including work with charitable groups, politics, church work, school activities, etc. Graham has only been in Indianapolis for 11 years, barely a decade. It's really remarkable when you consider the impact that he's made on such a variety of people and organizations in a mere 10 years. For our Kiwanis Club, Graham's impact came quickly. He took over and chaired the Fostering Families Committee and then quickly became president of the club in 2020. His involvement and service to this club in the past few years has been critical, as anyone here can attest. But it's his broader community civic engagement that makes me think of him as a dignitary for championed causes. Professionally, Graham is the executive director of Principal Gifts at Butler University, but in his spare time, Graham has been a member or board member of the Robert Greenleaf Servant Leadership Center, the Horizon League Organizing Committee, the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame, the Milam Museum, 100 Black Men of Indianapolis, Toastmasters International, Project 44, honoring the Core family and Candles Museum, helping to start up Athletes Against Anti-Semitism and Discrimination this year, and of course his service to our club and foundation. There are probably things that I don't know about, that none of us know about, that he's been involved with as well. And although it may not be relevant to this award, I think I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that in addition to his civic involvement, Graham sometimes unapologetically is a promoter of his books. The Cinderella Strategy and Unbracketed, available on Amazon. And if you know Graham, then you quickly learn that he weaves his passions into his causes. Basketball. Just when you think Graham can't find a basketball connection to some organization or cause, you're wrong. And he'll introduce a nationally famous basketball coach or enters into the discussion about a historical Hoosier hysteria fact. He is truly a Hoosier hysteria devotee. And if you attend any community organization, program, fundraiser, event in Indianapolis, it's almost becoming unusual to not find Graham there. Graham connects the dots and brings many people together from diverse backgrounds for causes. His fellow board member, Brad Long at the Milam Museum, who also played Buddy in the movie Hoosiers, says, "I have had the great pleasure of serving on the Milam Museum Board alongside Graham and others. Graham is an integral part of that board, and I have grown to admire and respect him more and more as I see his passion, vision, knowledge, and his work ethic in action. He's a deserving recipient of the Kiwanis Civic Award, and I am pleased that you're awarding that honor to him. I can't think of a better choice. Congratulations to my friend and colleague, Graham." And Michael Lofton, here today, Director of Community and Government Relations and colleague at Butler, says, "Graham is committed and passionate and a leader here at Butler University. His work as a Kiwanian is central to his desire to impact the community he lives and interacts with on a daily basis. He continues to be a role model within the Indianapolis community to his family and friends, and his impact on young people's lives who have graduated from Butler. It's immeasurable." Alex Core, Ava and Mickey Core's son, whom Graham honored. "Steve, I first met Graham Honecker in 2014 when I was living in Baltimore. From the start, we shared a passion for community, Butler basketball, family, and servant leadership. Over the next 9 years, I've become close friends with him, and I can tell you that Graham Honecker epitomizes servant leadership. He is an incredible example of how hard work, dedication, and motivation can result in a better community. My late mother, Eva Core, once said, 'Think of one thing that you can do every day to make a better world.' Graham has taken that motto to heart and inspires me every day. Congratulations, Alex Core." Fellow Kiwanians, our Civic Award recipient today is still fairly young, so he'll be receiving this award, but we can expect many great things from him in the future. Congratulations, Graham.
Thank you, Steve, and per our arrangement, I'll be sending you the $500 for that. This is a really great honor for me. I've been a Kiwanian for 20 years, and this organization, you can't cry because I've got a couple minutes to try to get through this. It just means so much to me. When I moved to Indianapolis 11 years ago, I didn't know a soul. I didn't know one person when I came here. And one of the first things I did was I called Brad Boyd and I said, "How can I get involved in the Kiwanis Club?" Because I figured, it'd be a great way to meet people, find some people to ask for money early on in my Butler career, and you need a platform. If you want to give back, you have to have a platform to give back, and both Kiwanis and Butler have done that for me. So this is a tremendous honor, and I can't thank everybody today, but I do want to recognize a couple people who've done so much for me, thinking about the Butler people here, who've been mentors, leaders, great philanthropists for what we've tried to do at Butler, and Bill Murphy and Mary Marsh, Art Kodroff and Gary Gardner. Trina's been one of my very best friends, has been a great Kiwanian. She's my running partner and is much faster than I am, but just a tremendous person that I've gotten to know. And then I look at this table, who I strategically invited these folks, and I'll start, Michael Lofton, if you don't know him, is just a tremendous asset to Butler and to this community, and I draft off of his passion. There's a great saying that I try to live by, which is nothing great is ever achieved without passion, and Michael embodies that, and I try to draft off of that. Nancy Lawton, been one of the great donors that I've ever met, and she really helped me early on with what, again, we were trying to do at Butler, and I sometimes go back too much to her on the well for gifts and things, but she's always been there for me. Try not to get emotional on this one. gentleman back here has been my hero in life. And I say that sincerely. He grew up very poor in southern Indiana. At times didn't have electricity. Made his way to Butler. He was a janitor in Hinkle Fieldhouse when he was a student to work his way through. And you talk about a self-made man. Grew to raise a great family and developed a wonderful company, which I always ask how his company's doing. He said, "We're doing great." And I said, "Don't tell me that." But he named our business building permanently a few years ago. But most importantly, despite 1 or 2 years of age difference between us, is one of my all-time great friends. Barb Mata has been incredible at helping what I do in terms of promoting Butler and Butler basketball. And we actually gave her an award not too long ago from Butler's Advancement Division for how much she's helped, and she and Thad embody, I think, the Butler way and the Butler spirit. And then my former admin, you look at what you try to do outside of your work, and I don't know if I mentioned Bill Du Bois earlier, so Bill, thank you as well. But when you try to do things to balance your work, you've got to have a really good support system behind you. And Patty Lamb was tremendous as we were building that business building. And again, she got to know me pretty well and decided to leave, but she's still at Butler. And then Allie, Kenny's been great, stepped into her shoes. And I was on the road. I've been on the road for about a week and a half, it seems, which put Allie in a really good mood. And but you go on these trips and you need somebody to help you with the cars and the hotels and all of that, and she's been great. And last but not least is my mom. I think I've mentioned it before. It better not be another charitable organization calling it. My mom pretty much raised me as a single parent. My dad had a lot of challenges, and she was just always there for me. And she encouraged me from a young age to give back and to care about people, and really got me through some tough times. Really pushed me, and so I'm thankful to my mom. Last closing comments. You look at all the things that I'm involved with, and I do it because I feel it's important, but I also felt you get one shot in life. And this is nothing against folks who watch Netflix, but I figured I wanted to get everything I could out of who I was and giving back. And there's so much need in this community that this club addresses. But I always think about when I come in here, if you walk around this circle and take a 2-minute stroll, you probably see about 10 or 12 homeless people out there. One of my favorite activities with my own family is we do a soup kitchen about once a month, and that is to show to my children how lucky they are. But also in the last year, we've been running out of food in that food bank. We cannot serve enough people, and again, that shows you what kind of need we have in Indianapolis. And I always give my daughters a couple of dollars when we ride in the car. Not as many as we used to have a lot, and then we went to see Taylor Swift. So I don't have as many dollars to give them, but every time we see somebody with a sign, we give them money. And you say, well, they should be going to social services, or they don't need to be out there. I don't think anybody wants to be out there with a sign begging for money. My point is, there is so much need, in that I admire and respect all of you, because we're doing our best to fill that void. So this is a great honor for me, a great recognition, and I'm probably most grateful that I guess you only got one nomination this year. But thank you so much. A real great honor.
It's like, okay, Graham.
Congratulations, Graham. I'd like to recognize Civic Award recipients who are with us today. Tom Dunham from 1985, Don Steele 1999, Mary Marsh 2006, Chuck Hotterman 2014, and Rob Schlegel 2020. Your dedication to making Indianapolis a stronger community is so appreciated. I'm in awe of all of the contributions that you've all done, especially you, Graham. I would like to now welcome Jay Brill to present our Career Award.
Don, you can come on up too.
It takes a community.
Yes, I'm bringing in the heavyweight for this one.
There's no turning back.
So it's a pleasure to represent the past presidents of the Kiwanis Club of Indianapolis for honoring Eric Rowland with the Career Award. And I'm passing around a list of some of the individuals that have won that Career Award. And a lot of them are community leaders, we all know, and that have really served our community well. I would consider our Career Award our club's equivalent to the Sagamore the Wabash, based on the qualifications and the individuals that have won this award. Very distinguished. A list of the past honorees have been passed around, but as you can see, we do have a rich history and heritage of leaders within our community. I've asked Don Steele to join me to add some additional insights about Eric's career and chime in at any time. Yeah, I know, that's why. So, Eric was born into a design company, and how nice to be mentored by his mother, Sally, and also supported by his wife, Sally. So here are a few comments of his career. He graduated from Wabash College and got his master's in architecture from University of Illinois. So Mike Halstead and myself would say, why not Ball State? Is Mike here? No, it's not here. So that's okay, he's had a wonderful career. He specialized in a number of different industries. One is Greek housing. And I can tell you that the bank I used to work for specialized in financing fraternity houses and also churches. But each one had a different degree of pride of ownership. He was involved with projects at Butler University, Indiana University, Purdue, University of Michigan, Wabash. And all told, I think about 20 different fraternities he was involved in some design work. He was involved in healthcare with IU Health. He was involved with higher education at DePaul University, Indiana University, Valparaiso, and Wabash College. He's nationally recognized in designing hospitality, one of which that I noted is the Charlie Creek Hotel Inn of Wabash, Indiana. And if you've never been there, it's fantastic. It's a throwback in history. It's kind of an arts and crafts type of inn. Wonderful restaurant, so it's nice. It'd be a nice trip for someone. Gleaner's Food Bank. He was involved with design for the Indiana Landmarks Center. Something that's near and dear to my house, and my family, is that he's involved with the St. Luke's United Methodist Church, helping us with the building committee and all designs with them. And I think he and Sally have been members for quite some time. Want to kind of close off by saying that Eric has served as a board member for several different prestigious organizations, including the 500 Festival, Indiana Landmarks, National Association of Wabash Men, Hickson Fellow. He was a 40 under 40, which is very impressive. He was with the American Architecture Institute, American Architecture Institute. Let me try it again. American Institute of It was AIA. And he was their president. He was also a graduate of the Stanley K. Lacey Leadership Series. And one more final comment. Now it's kind of my time to kind of sign off and let Don take over. And we'd like to congratulate the president-elect, and he's also a member of the Kiwanis Foundation, as our 2023 past president career recipient. Congratulations, Eric.
Yeah.
Eric, go ahead and come on up and join us. While Eric's coming up, I just want to sneak in a quick bit. For 10 years, there's a person in this room who's been so important to this club, whether we see her or not. Trina, thank you for the 10 years you've helped us in this club. And having been trained by past President Pat McCrory, I am here today in my capacity as a Marion County probation officer. And I just want to let you know Eric has completed all of his community service time. He can take off the ankle bracelet. Now, don't put Graham in too high of a category. He finished his community service time about a month ago. But Eric, congratulations from all the past presidents, and thank you for stepping up for the leadership of this club.
Thank you all so much. This kind of came as a surprise. I've always been one of those that I remember the day that I moved back to Indianapolis from Chicago, and Austin Green and Dave Cease were quick to grab me and say, "You need to join the Kiwanis Club of downtown Indianapolis." And that's been one of the best decisions that I made, and the number of friendships that I've gotten from this organization, and to be honored with the presence of so many leaders in this community. That one of the things that I was fortunate to be able to do was to take on running Roland Design at the time, now Luminat, and it was a firm that my mom started, and she had great mentorship and the idea that you just keep trying to do the next job better than you did the job before. And that's kind of how we've been building the business, but knowing that that is something that you can't do alone, that we're in a community full of great people, and as Graham pointed out, people that need a lot of help, and so the idea of just jumping in head first and trying to swim and see how we can do with helping those different groups. And Kiwanis is an awesome organization for doing a lot of those things. When I've been involved in the foundation and we talk about how we can donate the money and who we can help, there's so many that need it, that the hard thing is deciding who doesn't get the money that they need to do things. But I really appreciate everybody's generosity. I really look forward to the advice and leadership that I'm going to get from a lot of the other presidents that are here in this room, and hope we can do a great job of building a strong club in the future. Thank you.
Congratulations again, Eric. Very proud. I would like to recognize career award recipients who are with us today. Tom Eubank, a name that I think we've heard 3-4 dozen times today. 2001. Carol Orbison, 2008. Mary Bulk, 2012. Bill Du Bois, 2013. Jay Brill, 2017. Trent Cowles, 2022. And Don Steele, 1999. I would like to turn the microphone over one last time to Carol Orbison as she wraps up her last week as immediate past president of the club.
Thank you, Trina. I would like to present Trina Rodebush with a plaque carved by Nolan Allen, her gavel, and welcome her into the Past Presidents Club.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So, this is my last meeting as your president. To borrow words from Graham, you're welcome. It has been a true honor to be selected as your president and to get to serve this year. We've come through a lot of changes, a lot of adapting to new times. I've had incredible amounts of work travel that I didn't necessarily expect, and there was never a moment of hesitancy to ask a fellow member to step up and take the microphone or to lead a discussion or to allow me to attend from afar. And I know that the club has been in good hands, and I have felt supported every step of the way. Historically, we've used today to allow the past presidents to give pieces of advice to the incoming president. I know a lot of that is happening from your seats, and I encourage the past presidents in the room to share with Mary and then with Eric your guidance. But one word that I will pass along, I think Karen Burns gave it to Graham, who gave it to me: just don't screw this up. I hope I've done okay in adhering to that. But with that, I will invite you all to join us next week as we welcome our next board of directors and club leaders in, and welcome District Governor Bruce Andrews to do our installation. We'll also hear from our friends at Riley Hospital, who we have supported for well over 100 years, and look forward to supporting for another 100. Award recipients, if you don't mind staying after for just a moment for pictures. Past presidents, if you don't mind doing the same. With that, I will say my final, we're adjourned.